Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how you folks doing? Welcome to the only podcast with no name, the UnNamed Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Conman167, joined today by Botch Guy and CWrestling, the magnificent duo here every single week. Botchy, how you doing, my man?
Oh, one sec. I'm muting the background noise.
Dude's got the stream pulled up.
Good. I'm doing good. What's up? What's up, homies?
I heard you bit your tongue last night. Are you struggling a little there, Botchy?
Yeah, life's pretty tough right now, to be completely honest. But I'm here and I'm ready. Oh, you have a new overlay?
I think it's the same one. Same one. We didn't run the full face we didn't run both of our faces last time we did this because we were not all in the Zoom call together with our face cam turned on. I can't speak English, apparently. Let's pass it over to CWrestling, someone who can actually speak English. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm knackered from work, but I'm here.
What are you?
Knackered from work.
Knackered?
Have you never heard the word knackered? Am I going to teach you the English language?
That's not a word. There's no way.
Yes, it is.
I'm pretty sure it's a word there, Bochy.
Knackered?
Knackered.
Here, live chat. Is it a word? Is knackered a word? You're going to have to let us know.
I don't think it's a word.
Bochy says it's not a word. See, my man, since you're an English dude, I'm pretty damn sure we're going to go with you on this one. It's totally a word.
Yeah, but it's old English, right? It's like Shakespearean English. Like, thou shall YouTube video on now.
Knacker.
Pavement. Knacker.
Oh, good Lord. Welcome to the Knackered Wrestling Podcast, apparently. Today, we're going to be talking about the WWE Draft. And holy moly, guys, the landscape of wrestling in WWE has completely shifted. People who have become famous over on SmackDown now going over to Raw. Legends switching brands. Some of the hottest superstars in WWE also switching brands. So without further ado, let's go down the list and let's recap exactly what happened. We're going to start over on SmackDown, then we're going to head over to Raw. So night number 1, we saw Roman Reigns drafted first overall to SmackDown. Big E was drafted second overall to Raw. Charlotte was drafted third overall to SmackDown, and Bianca Belair drafted fourth over to Raw. McIntyre to SmackDown, RK Bro to Raw, New Day to SmackDown, Edge over to Raw. Round 3 right here, we have Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss over to SmackDown. Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley over to Raw. Hit Row is completely drafted, all 4 of them over to SmackDown. And Keith Bearcat Lee finishes off round 3 going over to Raw. Round 4 was Naomi going to SmackDown. Mysterio's to Raw. Jeff Hardy to SmackDown. And Austin Theory to Raw. And the big free agent of the day over on that show was Brock Lesnar. He is able to go to either brand right now. Let's go to night 2. Round 1 was Becky Lynch. Usos were number 2 overall. First overall was Becky Lynch to Raw. Second overall was Usos to SmackDown. Third was Bobby Lashley to Raw. Fourth was Sasha Banks to SmackDown. We had Seth Rollins going to Raw in round number 2. Nakamura and Rick Boogs going to SmackDown. We had Damian Priest going to Raw and Sheamus going to SmackDown. Round 3, I know, guys, we're going to get through it, I promise. AJ Styles and Omos on Raw. Shayna Baszler going to SmackDown. Kevin Owens to Raw. Xia Li to SmackDown. Round 4, the Street Profits to Raw. Viking Raiders to SmackDown. Finn Balor to Raw. Ricochet to SmackDown. Round 5, Karrion Kross to Raw. Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo to SmackDown. Alexa Bliss to Raw. Cesaro to SmackDown. Round 6, Carmella to Raw, Ridge Holland to SmackDown, Gable Stevenson to Raw, and Sami Zayn to SmackDown with a bunch of free agent picks. There was also a bunch of people picked on Talking Smack and Smack Talk, whatever the hell the shows are called. So that is all the names that have been picked. Let's start breaking this down a little more.
I didn't quite get all of them. Can you just go over all of them one more time, please?
Oh, I'm so knackered over that, man. Good Lord. Bochy, we're going to start with you, okay? So, who do you think, out of all these people that got drafted, who do you think is the biggest player that switched brands? Either Raw or SmackDown. We're going to start there, and then we'll go to CWrestling.
Biggest player that switched brands.
Yes.
Well, Drew McIntyre is going to be a very interesting choice. I think he's going to have a lot more fun over on the other brand. But like I don't know about switching brand, but like I want to see what they do with Hit Row, man. Hit Row to me is like the perfect ingredient on a ice cream, right? Like like you have every flavor that like, have you ever had Rocky Road? You have the vanilla, you have the chocolate, you have the almonds, you have the marshmallow inside. Like it's the perfect flavor. And that's what the hit row is. I think I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, that's a great way to put it, man.
I think that's what's gonna happen. I think they need to book them properly. I'm worried about how they're gonna book them. Like, I really hope they book them properly. Like, when I mean properly, I don't mean like have them show up once in a blue moon and then, forget about them. So I love how they're talking crap on Twitter, which is funny. It's like, we're different than all the people we got called up. We have promos.
We can promo. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I think
as for your question, I'll say, Drew McIntyre.
Nice. Drew McIntyre being the biggest player to switch brands. CWrestling, do you have somebody different than Drew McIntyre?
I do, actually. I think it's going to be Jeff Hardy.
Oh.
I think the fact he's already teased a new ego, I think that's going to be fun. I'm also really excited for Shayna. Yeah, but he is. It's Jeff Hardy. The pop he got on Raw proves that.
I have no doubt in my mind Jeff Hardy is still foreverly over, and he will be foreverly over. And I'm sure the new gimmick's going to be a lot of fun, and he's going to do some good stuff. I have no doubt in my mind. But like, I don't think he's going to be a main event guy at this stage of his career. No.
Well, you know what?
I think he'll feud with Roman for sure.
I'm thinking the same thing. I think we get Jeff Hardy versus Roman Reigns. Unless you see Drew McIntyre and Roman lasting for the next 6 months, they're going to need another babyface to go up against him.
Well, I think you have to do Drew versus Roman now because, Drew's going to be turning heel soon. So, you get Drew and Roman out of the way, have Drew lose, then eventually turn him heel against blah, blah, blah.
So you do think he's going to turn heel, eh?
Oh, yeah. He's starting to bore a lot of people. But like, I'll say this, like, he has the sword now. Maybe they're going to keep him face because he has a sword, because like, a heel with the sword, what, he's going to start like decapitating people?
Hey, he already tried that with Jinder Mahal.
Right? So I don't know. Like, I'm not even like, I used to be such a big Drew guy, but the way they've booked him recently, it's just so boring. You know what's kind of funny? Story time with the Botch Guy. You know what's kind of funny? When he was doing the 1, 2, 3, and then a kick gimmick for like the longest time, right? And John, and then it was never over. And then John Cena comes up, and then he does I'm gonna beat you in 1, 2, 3, and it's so over. And then he turned it into his gimmick. Drew must have been like, "You just stole my gimmick completely. You just stole that completely from me." John Cena was way more over because of it. And it's to me, I just found that funny. So anyways, random thought of mine.
That is a funny way to correlate that back there. Drew McIntyre with the countdown of the 3, 2, 1, and John Cena counting 1, 2, 3. So it was a little flipped, but like, yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. John Cena was getting a bigger pop with that. I like the idea of Drew McIntyre obviously feuding with Roman Reigns. I personally have a tough time seeing him turning heel right now. The babyface side on SmackDown is really weak. CWrestling, if we're looking at the babyface side, who do you think is there and who could be a main event player on the good guy side?
As long as you take the IC title off him, I think Nakamura's a good shout. I think you're also looking at maybe Kofi.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the whole thing with Big E recently and Roman, I can see Kofi and Roman being a soon-to-happen feud.
Me too, yeah. I like that one. And what about Xavier Woods? Do you think we start to see more of Xavier Woods up the title picture?
Yeah, definitely if he wins King of the Ring.
I like that. Well, let's pass it over to Botch Guy. Do you think he's going to win King of the Ring? Xavier Woods?
I think it's Xavier Woods' time to shine. I really wanted to turn heel. On my prediction show, I was talking about that him potentially turning heel, which I thought that would be a lot of fun. By the way, everybody gave me crap for having Charlotte and Becky switch brands because of the titles, and look what happened. Looks like I know a little bit about something. Everybody gave me crap.
Get off your knackered high horse there.
There's no way she has the title. There's no way they can swap it. Swap that. All right, there you go. So stop being such a, I don't even know what to say. I don't want to say that word because like it sounds close to a different word, and I don't want to get like something. I
don't have a clue what you're talking about.
I don't want to say. I'm not even gonna go there. But I'll say this. What was the question?
I don't know. You confused me. I now forget what I even asked. Something about Xavier Woods being king of the ring.
Xavier Woods. Yeah, he's gonna win king of the ring. I love how he marked out to that fan. I should have probably made a video on that, but he went crazy towards that fan, and yeah, I think he's gonna win. That's like a choice, man. Like, it's his time to shine. I have lots of energy today.
It's not a bad idea. King Woods. I could see that. I could see that being pretty good, especially also when you have Big E being the WWE champion and Kofi a former WWE champion. Xavier needs something to elevate him up, and I don't think it's going to be a mid-card title run. I think, if anything, you need to save that moment where Xavier wins a single title for a bigger title, like a WWE title, like a Universal title. Whether that ever happens or not, who knows? But a King of the Ring is certainly a good way to get it going. So as for other people who have made an impact in the draft, let's actually talk a little bit about Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch swapping brands, because that's huge. That is big for the division. But the question is, will Becky still be champion after Crown Jewel? So let's start off with CWrestling. Give me your thoughts on the whole champion switching brands, and then do you think Becky remains champion after Crown Jewel?
Yes, I do think she remains champion, but I actually think they're going to merge the titles. I think Charlotte's going to get added to that triple threat, and I think it's going to be a fatal four-way for both titles.
Wow, that's a interesting direction to go. Can you give me some thought process as to why you think they're going to unify the titles right now with such a large women's division?
Well, you could just do the typical, hey, we're going to swap the titles back, and I don't think people want that. I think they've already teased Becky 2 belts again, and they've done nothing else with Charlotte apart from had her feud with these women. So it kind of makes sense to now add her to the match.
I mean, I see that, and maybe they can continue going into Survivor Series and somebody walks out with, like, say Bianca Belair is somehow included in that match. Like, I don't know, maybe both belts could be put on somebody, or that's just the way to split the belts again at that point. But if they do put both belts on someone at Crown Jewel, then they're going to have a really tough time, I think, moving forward, building up their women's division. The tag belts don't have any tag contenders for them. So if that does happen, it'll be interesting, but I don't know how the rest of the division is going to fare. Would you agree with that, Botch Guy?
Well, as being the king of theories on YouTube, I'll say this. Let me say this. I have a theory. Okay, it's a ridiculous theory, but it's a theory. I think they're going to merge. Okay, don't take this literally, but like, this is the joke part of it. I think they're going to merge the women's tag team championships into one new title, and that new title is going to be a mid-card female championship. I think there's going to be not just two of the main champions. I think they're going to finally add a mid-card title that can go across two brands. And the reason I think that is because there's so many females in the WWE right now that deserve an opportunity, and the tag team championship right now, no offense, is dead. It's dead in the water. I don't know anybody talking about it. No one cares about it. Hasn't done any impact like they expected it to do. So instead of how about you just throw those tag team titles away, add a mid-card division title, and give it to a person like Liv Morgan, for example, who is slowly developing her thing and working her way up towards one of the main championships. I think that would be a cool idea. I think it would give some of those girls, like the Carmellas, like the Liv Morgans, like the mid-card people, like a chance to hold a belt, get kind of that feel, and then when they move up to the main thing. I know Carmella's been before, but I'm just giving a random name. So that's what I think they should do, personally. And as for the match itself, I don't see them merging the titles because, again, they just had a brand split. Again, like the draft happened, so I don't see that happening personally, but I guess it could potentially happen. I just think it's going to be another one of those normal, generic kind of feuds between all the girls that are all incredibly talented. I don't know.
Thoughts on a merging, I guess you could say, mid-card scene there, CWrestling?
I like it. I think it's a great idea. I don't know why WWE don't do it. You could literally do it where you have Rhea and Nikki face each other, putting both the belts on the line, winner walks away with both, and then you present that person with the new championship. There's the story.
That's a cool story. I like that.
So good, man.
Yeah, he really is. There's a reason why we have him on this show, right? he's the guy.
I have him on the show because he's like the mascot, and he doesn't have the
mascot.
Yeah, he doesn't have his picture, so we pretend he's like something else, like some sort of alien demon.
Well, you see, I don't need to hold up the podcast by having to do my makeup every time. So.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Sure. Wait, you do makeup?
No, Botchy, that was you.
Oh, I do makeup?
You do makeup. Yeah, look at that beautiful face. You have to do makeup.
No, I'm just fat. I'm fat. And then when you're fat, you get all red. You start sweating bricks. That's all. What's so funny? Only fat people can laugh at fat people. That's one of the words. That's one of the
I'm
rules.
thinking of another joke that I listened to earlier today. It was really funny. I would love to share it, but I don't even know if it's PG. Awesome. Just like that's why I'm laughing. Just something else.
Funny? You know what's funny about C? Like people, like we talk, like me, C, and Con, like we all kind of talk crap to each other all the time, but like in the most like cutest way. Like does that make sense? Like brothers kind of. Like, you know how brothers kind of do it.
Yeah.
Right. The only difference is, like, I guess I would be. Am I the oldest?
Oh yeah. You got me, man.
Yeah, I'm the older brother. So I'm the one who pick on both of you guys. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so, and we pick on you back by letting everybody know that you put on makeup.
I don't. What is this?
Now you know the stupid stuff with the con man bathwater drinking, all that. It sucks, doesn't it?
You just ruined it. I was about to say, at least you don't drink. I don't drink Liv Morgan's bathwater.
Stole the joke right out from under you. Let's go over here to Twitter really quick because we've had a few questions that have been asked towards us. So the first one here is from Ross Blocks. And if you guys would like to have your questions answered in the future, look out on Twitter for the tweets. They come up every single Wednesday. The UnNamed Wrestling Podcast mailbag. So Ross Block says, since Drew is on SmackDown now, how long do you think it will be until Drew challenges Roman for the Universal Championship?
What this one.
Pay-per-view to be specific? So Botchy.
After Saudi Arabia.
Okay. So you're thinking...
What's the next one?
Well, we have Survivor Series then, so
I
it won't be
back.
then.
Not Survivor Series. The next one.
That's TLC, right? Is December still TLC?
TLC is the one. Yeah, that's the one. And then you're going to have one final feud there, and Drew's going to turn heel.
Okay. CWrestling, your thoughts?
I'm going to go a month later. I'm going to go Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking Royal Rumble is going to be Drew Roman.
Not big enough.
Not big enough?
Not big enough. Royal Rumble's too big for Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. I think they need to have a bigger match with Royal Rumble for Roman Reigns.
Really? You don't think Drew McIntyre Reigns is that big of a match?
No, the way they've booked them recently. Yeah, he just came off a feud with Jinder Mahal, man. Like, come on. Like, and it's not like a push Jinder Mahal coming off a title. It's a non-existent Jinder Mahal with Veer and what's his name? Lanky, whatever.
Shanky.
Shanky.
Lanky.
Lanky's the fourth member of the group. But like, it's not like he's been pushed. Like the storyline booking for Drew has been so bad. So like, I don't think he's.
What's the bigger match then, if there is one? Because I don't think there is. I would personally like to see a rematch between Finn Balor and Roman. I know Finn Balor is on Raw now. Yeah. But so I guess that's not possible. God, who else is on Raw? Let me see. Let me take a look at the roster. Like, they just lost Edge. They lost Seth Rollins. They brought Sheamus back. You could do Sheamus versus Roman if they wanted to turn Sheamus face. But, like, I think Drew McIntyre's a bigger face.
Let me see. You guys can continue talking.
How about you see wrestling? So this whole Royal Rumble idea, so you think that's going to go down there, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think I don't think the feud with Jinder was big, but he's about to go for the WWE title. You know, he's about to get some big feuds. I think Roman and Drew are the two big names on SmackDown now, so makes sense.
Yeah. It's a tough one, right? Because, like, I get where you're coming from, Botch Guy, because Drew McIntyre, yes, people are down on him after his WWE title run. But if anything, I got to say people have come around on Drew McIntyre more recently. He's not being forced into the main event scene all the time. I want to say people were a little more receptive to when he came out and stared down Big E the other week. You know, I think Drew McIntyre's got his magic back, and certainly up against Roman Reigns, it could be really good because they've got the history at Survivor Series as well, right?
So I have my match. And, there's been rumors that he was going to get drafted, but he did not get drafted. But there's rumors that he was going to get drafted, and he would be a perfect one-off opponent. And that opponent is no one other than Walter. And I think Walter versus Roman would be awesome. And you could have him show up at Survivor Series, do something cool, attack him, whatever, have Walter be I don't know how you're going to do the face and heel dynamic. I think it's more like we're two badasses. We've dominated things. I think that would be really cool, man. I think, and that would be such a hard-hitting match too. I'm looking at the roster though. You're right. There's really not much there. I guess whatever they do with Jeff Hardy would be an interesting one.
Yep.
So I guess you guys are probably right with Drew McIntyre.
What about the idea of Jeff Hardy though at TLC? If we need that filler feud, that could be really fun. Jeff Hardy Roman in a TLC match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see what this character is. Is it going to be similar to the Willow, or is it going to be Brother Nero? Is it going to be something completely different? Is it just going to be him as a heel? Well,
let's talk to the theory guy over here. CWrestling, do you have any theories on what Jeff Hardy's next era could be?
So I think it's going to be Willow, but I want it to be Brother Nero. That's the one I want it to be, because we never got a story for Brother Nero. He was just, broken Matt's brother, and that was it. Let him now be him and tell a story himself. I think that'd be quite cool.
But do you think, when you say, do you think he's going to be the Willow? Do you mean actually the Willow or the WWE version of the Willow?
Oh, probably WWE's version.
So instead of the Willow, he'll be called the
Birch.
The Billow.
Okay. I was hoping my tree joke would be well more received.
He'll be called the Birch. I get it now. I was going to call him the Pillow.
The Pillow. Oh, good
He's
lord.
going to put us to sleep after a week.
Right. Look, did you guys like Jeff Hardy's Willow character? Let's start with CWrestling. Did you like it when it was around?
Yeah, it was good. I think it was different, and it gave him a new energy in TNA, and at the time, he desperately needed it.
Botchy, did you see any of his run as Willow?
I saw a majority of his run as Willow. I liked it because it made me watch Impact for a bit there. So that's always impressive.
Yeah, fair enough. That is an impressive thing, isn't it, to get you to tune in?
I will say this though, Impact, even though right now, they still they're awful at marketing, some of the worst. But I'll say this, but their product is good right now. I don't know if you guys are watching, but I've been catching here and there of Impact. It's a good show, man. It's a really good show. It's just they have no idea how to market their product. Look how AEW marketed. And I honestly, I've said this, I'll say it again, and I'll say this forever. The problem is that Impact Wrestling could not establish themselves proper TV deals. And if you don't get on, in Canada, for example, on TSN or Sportsnet, and if you don't get on TNT or Fox or something big in the States, you're going to be non-existent. And that's a big problem. I like the fact that they're trying to do more online and stuff, because if you can't do this stuff on TV, then you need to focus on a more online presence. But they're not doing a good job of that either, because I don't see any YouTube content creators other than a couple doing Impact videos. And I think maybe because they're not allowed, or who knows, maybe they are allowed, but people don't care. Maybe it's because of the
Impact's pretty good when it comes to letting creators create stuff off of it, but it's just they don't draw the views. They just straight up don't.
I made one Impact. I don't have it anymore. I made one Impact video ever, and it hit 16,000 views, which is very good. One of my better viewed videos. And it was a tease when they were teasing a bunch of wrestlers going on to the show from WWE, and it was doing very, very well. Now, obviously, that was probably more the WWE angle, who's going to show up than Impact. But they had a run where people were talking about them. It's just they don't know how to market. I don't know if it's the money. I don't know why, but you don't have.
Can I say something here? I think they ran into a bit of an issue when they had Kenny Omega showing up on their shows, and it had everybody tuning in to see Kenny Omega. And it just seemed like after those first 3 or 4 weeks, they didn't provide anything extra to the show to make people want to stick around. They had everybody's eyes on them, and then they lost them again because they just kept presenting Kenny Omega in the tour bus, as opposed to introducing somebody new, somebody like Moose, who could have very well been the guy during that time. Moose, exactly. But they kind of went away from him. Back to you, though, Botchy.
Oh, yeah. It's just the TV deals for me, I think, more than anything. Now they're striking partnerships with YouTube and Twitch and all that stuff, which is good. But again, man, I know it's gonna this. Okay, I want to watch AEW. I have it on TSN. It's in Canada, there's TSN and Sportsnet for sports. Everybody has them. Everybody has those channels. Everybody, and they're right there in front of you around all the other main heavy channels. And then to watch Impact for me, it's Fight or something.
I don't even know where you find it on TV. I used to watch it on Twitch.
I don't even know where you find it. I don't even know where you find it. I'm a diehard wrestling fan, mark, right? And I know what Impact is. Most people don't even know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to find the product. So even if I wanted to watch it, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Isn't that brutal? Hey, that's absolutely brutal.
That's marketing.
Do you know where that is or what channel it's on in the UK for you there, C?
Exactly the same as it is for you. It's on YouTube under their channel membership option.
Okay, gotcha. YouTube. So that's where they are now. So do they not even have a TV deal anymore? Are they just on YouTube?
I think they're still on Access in America at the moment.
Okay.
Because they're actually owned by Anthem, so that's why they've got that TV deal.
Gotcha. You know what, Tony Khan, and AEW. I actually think one day Tony Khan is going to eat up Impact, and he's going to buy them out. I think that's going to happen. Kind of what Vince did with WCW, and I think what's going to happen here is that, or it's going to just go down because they can't get a TV deal, kind of. But Tony Khan is so rich. When he started this brand, and I knew it was going to be popular because, first of all, he brought all these crazy indie wrestlers. Everybody loved them, right? But the most important thing is the first thing he did was he went on the interview and he said, I'm going to get 2 significant TV deals for Canada and America. And then we talked about UK as well. And he's like, it's going to happen. We're not going to do this unless we get big deals. So what did he do? He got TSN. And in America, he got TNT.
Pretty damn big.
Those are huge, right? So right away, he was already bigger than Impact without even starting a company because they got those 2 TV deals. And then the ratings turned out to be good, and TSN kept on, they kept them. And then TNT is loving them, so they're keeping them. But now, because it just so happens because of the NHL losing, because of the new thing, now AEW is actually getting off TNT and they're going to TBS, which... Yeah. What do you think about that, Con Man?
You know what? I think AEW's got the fan base now that it's not going to affect them much more than maybe 200,000 viewers. Now, granted, when you're pulling in 1.3, 200,000 viewers is quite a bit. But still, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. If anything, I think it's just going to be one of those things that allows them to keep the time slot moving forward. The time slot is the most important thing, not the actual TV station. The time slot that they have.
You live in Canada, correct?
Yes.
So, chat, is there anybody here that lives in the States? Can you tell me what channel roughly is TNT on and what channel roughly TBS is? Are they close together on the guide there, or is one on channel 120 and the other one's on channel 267? Because that makes a big difference.
That would, for sure.
Being right beside each other makes a big difference. And I would love to know how similar they are.
138 on Dish and DirecTV is 245. I don't know which ones they're talking about, though.
Yeah, which one are you guys talking about?
TNT is pretty close to NXT on DirecTV. 245 DirecTV for which one, though? I don't know.
For which
TNT is, here we go. TNT is 245. Okay.
And TBS is 26 on Spectrum. So they're
close enough. They're close enough that if you have and here's the thing with the AEW fan base, they're all the diehard wrestling fans. There is no casual fans in AEW right now. You have people who are lapsed wrestling fans who are coming back to watch the show, but there's no just casual people turning on the show at the moment. Or if there is, there's barely any. So the switch of channels isn't going to be that big of a deal, but I see where you're coming from, Botchy, for sure.
Yeah, I think the hardcores will still watch it, but I think there's going to be a massive ratings drop. First of all, especially for the first few weeks while people figure it out where this is. I even in the guide, when you have something at 240 and then something's at 246 or 245, the guide shows 10 channels at once, right? Just seeing it visually from where the WWE is. USA, I believe, is 242, 252, something like that. And TNT would be 245, they're saying. So they're visibly seeing it. They can see, SmackDown here.
I'm seeing a lot of people say that they're pretty close together. Carlos Romero saying USA is 242 and TNT is 245. So that's what you were talking about there with NXT showing up pretty close to it.
I'm curious. I'm going to see the ratings because it's changed. Even though the ratings they're doing good. We should probably chit chat about ratings. Actually, it would be a good conversation.
Well, if we would like to look into those for next week, because I don't have any of this stuff pulled up right here. We do have another question pulled up, though, from this one. is from Justin Dawson, and this is going to be kind of directed towards CWrestling a little more because he's a big Liv maniac. Says, do you think Liv Morgan continues her feud with Carmella on Raw, or do you think Carmella and Zelina and their alliance becomes an official tag team and go after the women's tag team titles? CWrestling.
Unfortunately, I think the feud will continue. I don't see them stopping it anytime soon, unfortunately.
Especially with the addition of that mask, right?
Yeah. That mask is awful. It's really bad.
Right? It's like some half-assed Phantom of the Opera shit. Like, it's just... Yeah. Oh, it's not good. It's a really bad mask. Botchy, do you have any thoughts on that mask that Carmella's rocking?
that segment was short and not sweet. You know, like when you say, oh, this is short and sweet, like this is like the opposite. It was short and not sweet. Like, it was so bad. And the mask was ridiculous. It made it came out of nowhere. She put it on for 1 second, then she took it off.
Yeah.
Like what was the point of that? Like, it doesn't make sense. If you're gonna do the stupid mask thing, do what Sheamus did. Like, rock it for a few weeks.
Rock it. Well, when I saw the mask, that's exactly what I thought they were going to do. Put the mask on Carmella and have her rock it for a few weeks. Not have her put it on and then take it off 5 seconds later. That was just so weird.
Do you think she actually took it off because the crowd were chanting, "You look stupid"?
You know what? I thought that if anything, she probably would have wanted to lean into that. Like, if you're getting a reaction like that, like, you look stupid. You think back to when Sheamus got over with his mohawk and all that because the fans were chanting, "You look stupid." I feel like it was storyline written in for her to take the mask off midway through for whatever reason, whether it was just WWE wanted to test the mask out, see how it was received on TV, do we move forward with it, what have you. But I believe that was truly meant to happen with her taking the mask off at about like 10 minutes after that she put it on. We have one last question here, and then that is going to be essentially all the time we have. We'll make sure we fit in your guys' plugs as well for your stuff coming up on your channel. But Randy N over here has one big question regarding Survivor Series that is coming up. And he says, because this year's Survivor Series marks the 25th anniversary of The Rock, do you think we'll see him make an appearance at the pay-per-view and confront Roman Reigns? Botch Guy.
The Rock?
The Rock. Survivor Series is his 25th anniversary, apparently.
No.
No. Too soon.
Royal, I think WrestleMania season would be the best time for the Rock Roman feud. It would be awesome, though.
Well, what do you think if it's like a tease? Like, if that is the WrestleMania match, let's say they want Rock Roman. Do they start teasing it come Survivor Series?
Can you imagine? Match ends, right? Then you hear, "If you smell," and then that's it. No one comes out.
No one comes out. If you smell, and like, then awesome Miz comes out. There you go. There's the heat.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think I'll say this about Survivor Series. I think this could be like some of the most like enjoyable Survivor Series in a while. Because it's like, I'm hyped for this year's Survivor Series. I think it's going to be a blast. The way Roman's going right now, I don't know. Like, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Like, but like, if you have The Rock show up on Survivor Series, like there's Survivor Series, or even if it's tease, like there's Survivor, there's Royal Rumble, there's WrestleMania, like there's big pay-per-views still coming. Like you gotta save something for those. You just had Brock Lesnar show up, right? So. Like what? Can I ask you what's going to happen with Reigns and Lesnar?
Reigns beats Lesnar.
Saudi Arabia.
Reigns beats Lesnar. He goes over. I think Roman Reigns is being put over on another level. They want to have him beat everybody, so that way, whenever they find the next star of the next generation, they've got a mega star to go up against in Roman Reigns. That's my thought process. Right now, the only goal in WWE is get Roman Reigns over.
I respect your thought process, and I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. It's not that he's just going to beat him. I think there's going to be shenanigans. I don't think you can have Brock Lesnar lose clean yet. You can end the feud with it, but like, come on, like you could push this feud for at least another 2 pay-per-views, or at least a pay-per-view.
That's true. That's true. Maybe Paul Heyman plays into the finish a little more, but I think it's going to be a relatively quote unquote clean, like maybe a slight distraction from Paul, enough to create just a bit of a moment where Brock Lesnar is not focused, and then Roman Reigns takes advantage.
See
wrestling?
Maybe that's the Royal Rumble match, Roman versus Brock. Maybe they skip TLC and Brock returns to the Rumble.
There you go. But then what's Reigns going to do on? I guess they can throw one of the Hardys or Jeff Hardy in there, kind of in between, like.
Yeah, I guess they could. Yeah, they've got Kofi now. They've got Jeff Hardy. They've got hell. You could even do Nakamura up against Reigns as the IC champion. You could do that. So you got some stuff. Cool. So that is pretty much the questions that we have here over on the mailbag. So if you guys would like to ask some more in the future, make sure you look out for those tweets. Botch Guy, let me pass it over to you. What do you have coming up on your channel? What do you got going on? Fill the fans in with what you are doing.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you for having me on to the podcast once again. And secondly, I hope everybody heads over to my channel and, of course, CWrestling's channel and gives us a beautiful subscribe. I'm actually getting pretty close to that 75K. Ooh. And CWrestling is getting close to the 50K, I believe. So
damn, my boys are growing up.
It's pretty exciting. So definitely go subscribe to us. That'll be great. As for content, I'm just going to be going with the flow, doing the usual stuff. King of the Ring's coming up here soon. When I start seeing the brackets, I'll probably make a bracket video on King of the Ring, or at least a live stream on it. I'm thinking about. And other than that, just the usual gigs. Did you catch that? I posted 3 videos last couple days ago. Definitely go check them out if you have not watched them yet. One's pretty funny.
Which one's that?
Definitely go. Well, I don't know how funny, but like people were like talking about how AJ Lee got completely snubbed and cut out. But if you actually watch like my video, and I broke down like shot by shot by shot, like they're hiding her a bit, but it's not like she was completely cut out. She was there in the background multiple times, 4 times at least. And I zoomed in, they saw it. It's just they quick cut a lot of the stuff.
Just quick cuts, yeah.
So they didn't see it. And like it's not like WWE's new to quick cuts. They've been doing quick cuts forever. So there was that. So yeah, other than that, it's mostly what I'm gonna do. But CWrestling, man, he's on fire right now.
See, man, your channel's been popping off. What do you got going on over there?
So tomorrow I've got a new Bray Wyatt video coming out. Nice. Milking it.
I actually set up like little milk jugs and cow emotes to him all the time.
Just
so every time he has a Alexa breaking down, that's 4 videos.
To be fair, it actually was 4 videos. So yeah, you're right. Things you might have missed on Friday. That would be fun. I like doing them. And I've got a Halloween video coming out for Halloween that I can already plug now.
Yeah. Did Botch Guy's mic cut out for you too there, see?
Yes.
Yeah.
It sounded well with.
So it just looked like he was just doing oh man. But yeah, great stuff going on over on both of those channels, guys. So great to see the community working together, people over in your comment sections, all that. I love to see it. And make sure you guys go check them out. Subscribe to them.
How about you?
On me? Oh man, dude, I got everything going on here that I normally do. My watch-alongs are going to happen every single night, except for tonight. I'm not able to be live with AEW, but tomorrow we're back with the CMU. Is it Thursday? Yes, tomorrow's CMU. Friday, we've got SmackDown, we've got Rampage, and then a bunch of stuff going on over on Con Games. So you guys know the...
Go sub to Con Games.
You know the drill.
Not done it yet.
You know the drill, guys. Head on over and drop a sub to all those channels we just mentioned. And their Twitters are also available down in the description below if you'd like to drop a follow over there. But guys, that is it for us. Thank you very much for listening. Whether you be listening on Spotify, whether you're listening on YouTube, it's always great to have you here. Make sure you drop a like on this video. And of course, make sure you subscribe, like we said, to all the channels. And that's going to do it. Thank you very much for listening. I've been Con. That's Botch Guy. He's CWrestling. And that was the UnNamed Wrestling Podcast.
Go Canucks, go!